I think from this spot you can really tell those are what we call ashlar. These are stones that are large. You can tell that they are cut stones, and so they are either part of a wall or part of a building. And now they sit here where they've sat for 2,000 years.
Oh my gosh.
2,000 years. So if you were to move all those stones and dig through all that, I bet you'd find some first century coins.
Yeah, probably.
I bet you would. So now, let's just turn and look this way for a moment. All of this was not here many years ago. This was added. And this is the passageway that comes right up, goes from the Pool of Siloam all the way to here. Of course, the pilgrims would have come out on that walkway and gone up to Robinson's Arch. But right here is a tunnel that's underneath that road. It's the place for drainage.
Is that where you and your... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
And so we found skeletal remains, we found lamps and so forth. Some of the Jews hid out in 70 when the Romans came.
But they didn't escape.
They did not escape. They were killed right there. And so today, the concern is, when this was first placed here, these stones were all about like this. What's happening?
Oh, yeah.
It's all collapsing.
Yeah, you're right.
So it was preserved for 2,000 years because it was covered with dirt, and every time they had a rain, you didn't have the ground kind of washing away, getting lower. But today it's just collapsing. So excavation reveals, and that's wonderful, but it also destroys.
Yeah.
It also destroys. Now let's go back to where we were a minute ago,
Okay.
and then we'll go to several other places here. This place is just rich. Now, Sarah, we've come back to where we started a minute ago because it's so easy to miss things, and there's so much here.
Yeah.
And I sometimes enjoy just asking folks, does no one want to ask me about this?
What is it? Looks like a piece of something.
Just a piece of the stair railing, kind of, on the edge of a tall building. What do you need? Can you tell that this is cut to protect the person standing on this side?
Okay.
And can you tell that this is a corner? Let's come around here. Let's take a look so you can see that we're at the corner of the building.
Oh, okay.
How about that? And there's writing.
Oh, I do see. I wonder what
I
it says.
wonder what it says.
Yeah, what does it say?
Here it is. To the place of trumpeting too. So it's not all there. In other words, at certain times, a trumpet needs to be blown. For example, God commands it for Rosh Hashanah, New Year. It's commanded. You go up there and you blow the trumpet. And so at that very spot, on the very corner of the Temple Mount, in the past, there was someone blowing the trumpet until 70 AD. But that's what God commanded, and the Jews did it during the first century until the Romans destroyed the city. That's verse. Okay, Sarah, this is the third time for us to stand right here, but I want to note Herod's stone blocks. Look at the size of that.
Oh, yeah, that is... Whoa, that one's
Look at that, look at that. Look at the size of them. And yet those are small. Those are literally small compared to what we'll see in the Western Tunnel Tour.
Wow.
Underneath this ground, the base stones, the large stones used for a foundation. Wow. Again, I've told you before, but I'm going to tell you again. 44 feet long, 11 feet high, 11 plus, and we think possibly as much as 11 feet deep. So, massive, massive stones. It's impressive.
Yeah, how did they carry that stuff?
Ah, that's a good question. We'll have to talk about that later. Sarah, I want you to note, we have on these stones what are called do you have any idea? I'll tell you. A margin.
Okay, a margin.
A margin.
It's just for decoration?
Yeah, just for decoration.
I
Just like a book
see.
has a margin. That's where the term comes from. comes from our stone with a smooth edge like this, I am fully convinced that began with Solomon. Herod wanted to imitate. They could see some of those early foundation stones, and they have margins, and so it's imitated. Notice that they build with a little bit of recess each time. This one, look at the next one, and the next one. So it's extremely stable. They have the extremely large one here, and now you put an extremely large one right above it going the other way. This is how you have the greatest amount of stability. If you have an earthquake, this is going to take it. This is going to take it. The buildings on top may fall, and of course, as you know, Alaska has fallen over and over, and so earthquakes will do damage to buildings. But this thing, I think, will be here till the Lord comes again.
Good foundation, so.
I really believe it. So that's put there. But just think about how in the world would they move a piece of stone that size? So they had some engineering techniques that must impress us. Must impress us. Okay. Oh, maybe before we go, I hope you can even hear more. I want you to notice, Sarah, that I said the city is built on I-beams. This illustrates it. And there's work going on all the time. You can hear the work going on. Look how this is on I-beams right here. Now you can build a stone above all the Jewish quarters this way. We have huge I-beams in many places, and I-beams filled, surrounded by concrete.
Okay.
Just like you'd have a bridge, except we don't even do it that well.
So
we use rebar.
I see.
I-beams are even stronger.
Oh, okay. I was
Big
gonna
I-beams.
ask, so,
yeah.
you know, is this really strong enough to hold everything
Yeah,
up top?
I-beams of that size are going to hold a tremendous amount of weight. That's how they build great big skyscrapers. And so the Jewish quarter doesn't have any skyscrapers. So yeah, it would hold it. It's impressive.
Wow.
Let's go. I almost knocked it over. No, I guess I didn't. They sure rocked there.